Hello ladies and gentlemen, BuilderBot is back, and I am experimenting with some new things. For example, this is a blueprint. Apparently you can just put these down in places, like this, and... oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Luckily I can get rid of that. And... I can... still not supposed to happen. I hate these trees. I kind of wish I could put it in the parts that overlap with stuff would just not get made. Ah, there they come. The constructor bot showed up and just built it. I like this auto build thing. I can just put a whole pile of new solar panels down and eventually they will be built. Can I have them get rid of... I can't have them... wait, I can't have them get rid of rocks. But here they come to build. Certainly quicker than building everything manually, even if I have the stuff already pre-made. I need a few of these, because I need to actually I can just put more, can't I? I can put this here, and it goes there, and there, and there, and that's about it. Why are... oh, the constructors are getting in my suit, apparently. There. And obviously the entire point of this particular setup is to make it so that I will never ever be out of power again, ever. Because my base is massive, and thankfully my power supply is acceptable. Let's see, how does this work? These are... okay, what do these charts mean? Production is coming from solar... why is production only coming from solar panels? I'm getting megawatts out of the solar panels, and we're using megawatts there. And I'm guessing this is production, and this is consumption graphs. And I have jitters. 50 hours. Oh, look at the power. Yeah, see here... yeah, until recently there was other sources of power. But they recently dropped to nil? Why did they just drop to nil? I mean, I get them being used lower. Is it because I don't need them? If they drop to nil because I don't need them, because I've auto-built all of these solar panels, I would actually be quite pleased with that. Oh, by the way, this conveyor belt here... this conveyor belt exists solely for the purpose of running quickly. It doesn't take any goods anywhere, it just makes me run quicker. I thought I left a car here. Oh well, I just made a new one. Car. Fuel. Fuel is in my logistics supply, so I will always be restocked with it as soon as I run out. Certainly a useful trait. Now, what is going on? I'm assuming... oh, there's my car. Since these are still making coal, and this clearly has a supply of the solid fuel. Oh, this is my steel maker. I was very annoyed at never having enough steel, so I dedicated an entire iron ore vein solely to the production of steel. Every single one of these has productivity modules, which means that you'll actually get 10% more steel than actually exists there. Yeah, here's some of my steel. So these will actually... it's 10% for each one, so it's a total of 30%. Yeah, 30. So they're actually... this thing will actually be able to mine 30% more steel than actually exists on its area. These things are, of course, smelting the steel into steel plates. It has two productivity modules. It will produce 20% more steel plates than more iron plates rather than actually exist in iron form. Then the steel producer also has them, so it will produce 20% more steel than actually exists in iron form. So 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% boost because of the transit into steel. And I finally have a solid steel supply, at least for the time being, until these all run dry. as far as this goes, you see this coal, which when it runs out I don't give a shit, and this is solid fuel. And they are set to fuel the wall, or not wall, the large field steam plants. As we probably know, the steam plants are capable of throttling their performance as needed so they don't waste fuel and power and heat. So the available performance is full because they currently have full temperature, but the performance being used is zero because they're unnecessary. If for some reason I expand large enough that that massive solar array stops being enough, which I guess I can check on here. Yeah, until recently it wasn't enough. Hence these things, you had a limit, but it wasn't enough, so these started building more and more and more. And then now I've mass built a pile of them, and all of a sudden, doink. And we no longer need. Oh, apparently we're using right now. So we were using... Okay, we weren't, but... Okay, this is what was in use. The accumulators can store power. They're basically massive batteries. So the point of them, they're this green line, I suppose, is so if I run low on power, I can still have some level of battery backup. Running low on juice in some ways. And I have all of these things to allow my builders to come all the way up here, that I'm starting to wonder if that's going to be even in any way practical. Because there are 4,261 logistics bots and 305 construction robots. I have a lot of robot help. 305 construction robots constructing a massive solar panel array, and the 4,000 logistics robots. Those are those little buds you see flying around under my car here. They're bringing goods from places to other places across the entire map area. You can see a lot more buzzing around the base over here as they're taking goods from places to other places, thereby completely eliminating the need for belts. It's so nice to not even need to worry about those anymore. There's all these goods that are being produced just get immediately moved to where they need to go. Wow. Even with 4 of them building at once, 4 here, 2 here, 6, 3 here, 7, 8, 9. I think that's it. 9 circuit providers, and they still get whisked away instantaneously. The assembly machine for the advanced circuits doesn't even have enough goods. How is the second rocket going? 86% of the way to a second rocket. Though it's probably noteworthy that I actually need to... Wait, I actually have satellites lying around somewhere. I don't even need to build this. Yeah, forget it. I don't need to build any more satellites. I think I have a couple in a box somewhere. These are the accumulators that are in position where my power supply used to go. Or, not my power supply, they're positioned where my science used to go, so I don't really need it anymore. This is the conveyor belt manufactory, pumping out blue speed conveyors, blue speed undergrounds, and blue speed switchers, of which all my logistics keep me stocked with at least 50 blue speed transporters at any given time, so I can always put transporter belts down if I need to. Oh, here's yet another assembly machine producing green green circuits, which then get taken away to places like this, which go to places like this, and wow. The demand for those green circuits is massive. As is the oddly high demand for coal. I mean, these two are pumping out coal, but it's no longer filling this chest. It's just getting taken away to here, and immediately getting moved into here to make plastic. Oh, but it's when this fills, they'll stop taking the coal for the plastic, though the coal will still be used for the explosives. The explosives are being whisked away to here to make the gun ammunition, which is going to... the cannon shells, which are slowly filling up there. Well, this is still building, isn't it? It's funny how the refineries are finally really kicked off. I have 3 of them and they're running full bore. I used to have 1 and it was completely backed up. The heavy oil is... ooh, the heavy oil is almost empty. Not that it really matters. Heavy oil is only good for lubricant as far as I can tell. And the lubricant here gets its heavy oil through from the other side and makes lube, which gets stored in the storage tank. The storage tank is entirely full, which means this arrangement has as much lube as it can hold, and the lube seems to only really be useful for making the blue assemblies and the blue switchers. So the fact that they're not building massive means I don't need any more lube, so that's not taking any of the heavy oil. So the heavy oil is being split by these into light oil. The light oil is... so you have almost no heavy oil in the tanks, and like a third light oil. Because the heavy oil is being split into light oil. The light oil is being split into petroleum gas by this massive array of splitters, thereby preventing me from needing to worry about these storage tanks filling up. Because that used to be the issue. The reason I made so many of these initially is because the refineries won't output anything unless they can output all 3 at once. And once I ran out of room to store the heavy and light oil, there was not much to do. So, splitting heavy into light, splitting light into petroleum. The petroleum tanks are completely full, but they're being used to produce solid fuel. This thing is pumping solid fuel, which goes in here. These things are pumping solid fuel, which goes in here, and it's now full. This thing is pumping solid fuel, it goes in there. Similarly full. The solid fuel is being taken off to fire those steam engines if need be. Meanwhile, my little person keeps solid fuel in my logistics so I can always fuel a car if I need it. Once the solid fuels are completely full, though, the petroleum will stop being used entirely, and the storage tanks will start backing up. But I don't care. This thing's actually backing up on petroleum rather than the other things. But I don't care. There's light oil. Let's see here. Light oil. What's it even used for? You can make solid fuel out of light oil, petroleum gas. Actually, it uses only 1 light oil. But this crats 3 light oil, 3 light water. Okay, so solid fuel takes 2 petroleum gas, 2 heavy oil, or 1 light oil. So it's actually most efficient to make solid fuel out of light oil. There's light oil. You need 3 light oil and 3 water to make 2 petroleum. 3 water and 4 heavy oil to make 3 light oil. So there's a loss in each conversion. Whatever. I barely care. The lubricant is full. I'm just using petroleum to make the solid fuel, which makes rocket fuel and not much else, honestly. I've never ever used empty barrels. Fill crude oil barrel. Fill crude oil barrel. What's the point of filling a crude oil barrel? It requires 1 empty barrel and 25 crude oil, and it is made in an assembler. What is the point of that? Empty crude oil barrel requires 1 crude oil barrel and produces an empty barrel and crude oil. So this is just a way to store it temporarily. Oh. Oh, I get it. I get it. If you don't want to go to pipeline, and because these storage tanks can't move, you could fill a pile of barrels with crude oil, ship them by train or something to somewhere else, and then empty them, thus providing oil at the new location. I finally figured out what the point of that was. Now the sad thing is, as massive as my construction is with all these bots flying around, and I think it's pretty massive considering I have managed to fully automate the construction of rockets. As I've shown off a couple times, the rocket engines over here are fully automated, and now I'm just auto-building massive amounts of solar panels to keep everything running. And pretty much everything is all electric. You're now 89. The slowest is the rocket control unit. That's you. It's producing. It requires processing units and speed modules. The speed modules aren't that bad. The processing units are the ones that take forever to be made. But once that's done, I'll have... Well, I already sent a rocket, so I don't really need to send another one, but I'm just auto-building, because why not? I'll probably just leave it at full when it's full. Huh. I know there are also trains. I have never ever built a train, ever. The only thing I can think is that trains would be for massively long distance travel. I have never needed this. I have that huge pipeline to carry my crude oil around, and I've never needed to really leave this main area. Though I suppose it's possible I might need to in the future. Well, the point of this video is to show off the automation of the auto building and whatnot, and some of the other stuff I've got built. So I think that'll be the end of this video for now. Remember to like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. Goodbye!